Good morning and welcome back to our YouTube video. Today we are going to see how you can automate your ADO test reports and use on demand or on a schedule run. Before further delay, let's move into the system and see how we can achieve this. Today we are going to see how to automate ADO reports. We'll see how you can get daily bug and test run reports. So for our target for today is work item bug and test runs. So you can extend this for other work item types also as per your requirement. But today's focus will be mostly on testing part. As a prerequisite for this, you need Azure DevOps license that is the main part for this one. You can use your work project if you are in any project working on ADO using ADO. You can use that, but for that you need help from an administrator or an admin access. Otherwise, you can use trial license to test it out and see how it works. From that ADO, you need to extract the ADO the org name and the project name along with that pat. So this is the key things for which you need admin access. Next, we'll need Python installation and some libraries that we will be installing shortly. Thirdly, you need VS Code or any other editor to edit your Python scripts. So these are the only three things that we need. Other than that, to run and do a test run for the scripts, we'll be using command prompt, and later on, which can be scheduled for a daily run, either using GitHub Actions or you can use cron job or Windows scheduler. Before further delay, let's get started. So once you have your ADO, if you can see the screen, this is one sample ADO demo project which I am using. So here, if you notice, if on the top breadcrumbs, the first part which is highlighted, this is the org name. Then we have the project name. The ADO demo 2 is a project name. So you need these two values. Along with that, you need pat tokens. Basically, for that pat, you need to get admin access. Either you can ask the administrator of the ADO, or if you are having a trial account or if you are the administrator, you can extract yourself. You can create a pat token for yourself and use it. So when you click on the org name, you will see this. If you see the notice the URL, so dev.azure.com, and then the part that is there, this is the organization name, and any settings related to this you will find it in the organization settings. In this example, I have two projects, one ADO demo 2 and one ADO demo. So this is the project name, so you need to get this project name. So for getting the pat token, if you are having a trial license or if you are admin, you can switch to, if you can click on the top right corner, and from on top user settings, you will see personal access token pat. So you can click on this, and from here you can extract you can create your own pat token if you are admin, or you can ask your administrator to give you a pat token. So once you get this three items, the pat, org name, project name, you keep note of it, and then let's now second we'll move into the dependencies and installation part. This token and all will show you shortly how to update in the environment variables where we'll be using that. So before that, we'll first set up our environment, and for that there are a few things that we need. Is first thing is the Python installations. So if you already have Python installed, that is good, but if not, then you can install it. So now we'll move into setting up the environment. So as I mentioned, so you need to have a Python installed. So I assume that your Python installation is already there. If not, before this step, just download Python from the Python's website and install it. Once you have your Python ready, you need to go and install the libraries that we'll be using for today. So for today, we'll be using Jinja 2 and Python.NET environment. So these two libraries will install, and then we'll proceed further. So for installing, you open up command prompt with administrator privilege, and then just copy this command pip install request Jinja 2 Python dev.NET environments. You can copy this and then run. So since for me, I had before this demo, I had already tested it out and installed. So it is showing it's already satisfied. Otherwise, you will see installations happening, and it may prompt to accept some warning that you need to select yes. Once you are done and ready with these two libraries, the next step is to edit the environment variables. So that's what I will be. You can download the sample file for .environment and the script file, which I will be uploading in the GitHub. So you can download from GitHub and update that. So I have right now downloaded those two sample files. One is the Python script and another one is the environment variables, a file for environment details. This you can create a copy and update yourself on it. So I can show you how to get that from GitHub. So just I will provide the link in the description. So in the GitHub location, so you have this one text file examples.txt and one the Python report. This Python report, this Python script is basically where we are going to see how to extract the work item details. So in the environment file, there are three things that is required. First thing is the your org name. So you need to replace this org name over here, the project name, and the pat. So these three are the required things. The other optional things are depending on how you are running your scripts. You may need to update the other sections. So if you need for a report for a specific sprint, that you can update here. We'll see details shortly. So and similarly, how long, like whether you need for last 3 days run or last 7 days, that update you can do. By default, I have kept it as 7. So depending on your requirement, you can change this, and the output directory name where you want to save your HTML reports that is generated. Second optional part is email delivery. So if you want to send it or your reports over email after running, you can use and update this section. This is optional. Similarly, if you want to deliver it through Teams, you can update your Teams webhook details over here. So all these things will work, but these are optional. To get your script to run, only thing that is required is up to this. This second optional things I have already updated, so you can use as it is. Or for you to start running and getting started, you just need these three items and get started. So this completes our second step in our dependency that we need to update. So once you download that .env file, just rename it because I have named it with example. You can rename it and use it accordingly. So this file, you need to just open it in the edit notepad and then just update your org name, project name, and the pat. So pat will be a long token, so you need to update that. If your project is having space, in the project name, if you have space, use double quotes. Like for example, in our case, in this particular ADO demo 2, we have space in between. So you need to make sure you use you update the project name correctly. So you need to update here as with double quotes ADO demo 2 and this way. So in the project, in the org name, you don't have any space, so you can directly use it. We don't need any double quotes. And pat you need to use as it is, no quotation required. The next step for our dependency is making sure which environment you are using it. If you are running it in Linux or some other environment, you may need to make sure that the file structure is like slash and all are correct. So I am using Windows, so the file which I have uploaded you can use as it is. It will work on Windows environment. If you are using any other OS, like if you're Mac or Linux, you may need to, in the script, may need minor tweaking, but otherwise this should work. I have not tested on Linux and Mac, so it may work as it is, or you may need to tweak on the forward slash or backward slash some settings over in the file. So at this point we are done with installation and of the libraries, setting up the environment variables. The next thing is to run the Python script. So if you want to use it as it is, you can download from the GitHub and run it as it is without any change. It will run and it will show you test run report from last 7 days, as I showed you in that example that I am using last 7 days, and the data from the bug data from the current iteration. So it will, in the query, it will, the bug query, it will use current iteration as the iteration path. And output directly is that it will save, create one test reports folder underneath the folder where you are having your script file, and store the HTML file. So in this example, I'm not using any email delivery or any Teams, but you can, I will not show this one, but it will work. You need to just update your Office email ID and SMTP details, port detail, and SMTP password and user. So this will, since these are this is not encrypted, it will be visible, but if you want to make it run, you can use it. Otherwise you can either keep it as it is, or you can delete it from the environment variable files. So to run the report, we need to just come to command prompt and switch to the folder where you have downloaded the script file, and then we'll just use the Python command to run the report. So it will try to fetch from data from the ADO and extract and update the HTML file. Once it is done, it will update. So since, if you see, there are some errors it is showing because the email, I have not provided the email, so it is asking you to update. So but it will still create the HTML report and run. So we can go ahead and see the HTML report. So this is the latest one which is generated. So if you see, it has extracted all the 18 bug items with highlighting how many critical, high and P3, P4 bugs are there, and list of all the items. It will also provide your hyperlink to the work item. Secondly, it will also show the test run. So whether it's an automated run or a manual run, it will extract all information and then it will display over here. So this you can validate from the ADO. The data is as it is. So if you go to the dashboard that I have here, there are 18 work items from the current sprint. So this is the, so if you see, this is the current item, current iteration, and the project name that it is there. So from this current iteration, it will extract all the details, all the bugs. Secondly, for the test run, if to validate the test run, you can go to progress report, And here if you see, it is the same data, 4 out of 11 points, test points, 36%. So this is, I think the percentage, it's one run extra it is showing, to see, but otherwise it is same thing. From here it will extract all the data. So now if we'll go and deep dive into the report and the script and see how it looks like, and I'll explain you different sections in that script. So if you need to make any change, you can do it based on your requirement. Switch to the actual script and see how the script is running and different sections in that. But before that, one point that you have noticed, that the test run over here is showing 12, and in the ADO it shows different. Yeah, it shows 11 only. So here I think it is filtering out some data and showing up. Because of that, you are seeing only 11 in that test run, but in our actual report we are seeing some additional data. But you can check it out in your example. If you also face similar issue, then do let me know. But here it is because of the filter, there is one extra showing in the actual test run report in ADO. So now we'll move into the second, the last part of our video, that is going through into the code. So if you open this script, this is a script file that we have used it. So you can right click and open with VS Code. If you have Python, other Python editor, or if you're using any other tool, you can use that to open that. So I am using VS Code. So if you come to this code and see, so as I mentioned earlier, the email part and other part, it is I have used here, but in this, for this demo I have not used to run. If you want to use that, you can keep that part in the script, or you can remove from the script. Anyway, it will not have any issue in your actual run. It will show that error, but it will whatever is correct, it will run and update your HTML file. So if we look into this, the first part we have already covered. I think the automated run, you can use either of these three. So you can use this script to either run through local cron job, or you can use GitHub Actions, or you can use any external scheduler. Other than this, you can use, there are other different ways to run also this script automatically, or you can use it to run on demand, which is most of the time I assume you will be using on demand as a tester. On demand run will be most widely used, but in some projects you may need to send this report to different stakeholders automatically. Then you can use your email version or the Teams version. So the config part that we had set up earlier. So first thing is the libraries that we are using. The additional things that we have is this three that we installed: request, Ginger2, and template. So we need to include it, all this. The next thing was the environment variables that we have used to for passing the information about the org name, project name, and the path. So all this we are extracting over here and storing it in this variable. Next, the URL. So we are using here the URL, but we have not parameterized the versioning of the URL. That is hard coded, but otherwise this is the base URL. And if you notice that we are replacing this with the org name and the project name, along with the path token and during the authorization. So these are the two things that are taken care on while calling the using the API. And as I mentioned, we are not parameterized the API versions, so that we are using as a hard coded value. Below that I will show you. Before that, there is one more thing that we need to keep in mind, is the query. So what query we are using. So this is the query that we are passing as a parameter to get the data. So these two methods is there to get the data. So this is to get the we are passing the path detail and parameters. Next, this here we are defining the query that we need to use it. So this query, if you see here, the project name, the sprint name is where we are passing as a @current iteration. In this, if you want a report for a bug report for specific iteration, not the current one, like if you are running on demand and if you need, so you can replace this in your variables, in that environment variable, the current iteration as the specific iteration path, and the report for that you will get. And the part which I was mentioning, the API version, here I have hard coded this one. This also you can add is pass it as a parameter through environment variable depending on your requirement, but this is very rarely changes. Even if you get the updated API version, the old API version will still run. So either way, you can, as a next version enhancement to this script, you can make this also as a parameterized. The next important thing was the test run. So the test run part we are fetching over here, and as we have passed 7 days, we are getting the 7 days test run. So this is the parameter which I have passed as over here, and this we are calculating the difference from today, and we are calculating this date difference, and then using that in the parameter in the query. Next thing is the HTML template that I have used. So this HTML template part, in this section is defines the HTML template that is used to display the data, and below this is the actual code for that saving the HTML template. So when I was saying about the environment, like if you are using Mac or if you are using Linux, you may need to tweak this part. It may run, it may not run. I have not tested, but you may need to update over here. And if you are using the email part, you can use this, or if you don't want to get the error, you can just delete this and you will not get the error. So if you remove this part, the email and the Teams part, you will not get those error. So this is those section where we are calling that email, sending of email, and the Teams webhook. So you can remove this part if you don't need. So in the HTML, you have noticed that we have used some cards and box types. So all those template and parameterization, it is mentioned over here, like box sizing and padding. Similarly, the cards that I have used, that for that template, it is defined over here. Then the priority badges that I have used, that is also defined at this place, the badge. So P1, P2, P3. So any change or anything you need, you can do over here if you want that UI to tweak. Then the pass percentage bar that you are seeing, that is mentioned over here. The failed list template part over here. So depending on your need, if you need to make some adjustment to the color coding or some styling, you can use and update this template. Otherwise, this will not, you can use as it is if you are fine with the UI. So if you have seen that in the sample, I have used last test run for last 7 days. Like we can check it, we can make it some change and run it for some other sprint or some other project also. Like instead of 7, if we give it 3, so we can see how it will how it behaves. Let me show that by running that. 1 second. So I have changed that days back as 3, and now let me run that. In this demo, it may not have any impact because I don't have the different days data. So it may have some change, but it may not also. So I don't see any change. Now I think if I change that to 3, it has that filter has updated to 12. Now let me open the report again. So for each date there is a separate report. So if you want that for each execution you get a different report with different, then we can add, instead of date we can add a timestamp also in the file name. So that changes also we can do, but here I have assumed that we are running this report daily using either using GitHub Actions or some cron job. So that's why I have named it in such a way that every day it's a different report. So this is the report. So I made the change for days. The only thing that it updated, I think because the runs are all a little old, so there is no changes you are seeing. So just let me make some change into few bugs. Like right now it is all last, like all the bugs from the current iteration, and the run is showing from all last 3 days. The only see visible run you can see last 3 days. So let me just make some changes and you will see that detail also. So what I'm doing, that for one of three test cases I am just marking it as run, and then we'll see the report. We'll go ahead and generate the report again. So if you see, there is one additional test run added, 13. Earlier run, if you are seeing, we had 12 run, I think. So just open this report again. So if you notice that past 3 extra tests was executed, so one run count got increased. So instead of 12 now it is 13, and the percentage is 47%. So there is a change. Let me see in the ADO progress report what it is saying. Here I think this report is not updating. I'm not seeing any update over here. So this may be filtering out some data. Let me just here also run last 3 days from June 14. I think some data is getting filtered out over here, so it is not showing. But the key thing is that it will show you the test run reports. If you notice that the changes that we did, so one extra run it increased from 12 to 13, pass records changed, and the percentage value changed accordingly. It will update this data also. So the last one is the one which we executed just now, so it is showing over here. If you click on this link, it will redirect you to the test run and it will open it from the ADO. Similarly, for the bugs also, all the bugs have hyperlinks, so that if you notice the script, I have added that hyperlink over here. So in the while appending the data, so we have appending the URL also. So if you know that in the ADO the bug ID is the last part in the URL when you open it. So this is how we created this entry and hyperlink to the bug ID, the URL. So this will be used to open the bug from the report. So if you have the report open, you can directly click on this bug ID. It will open that bug directly. So this will be a very handy report for everyone. So we are done for this video today. The part that running this script is not covered in this one, but once you have the script, you can just use the local cron job to run it, or you can use, if you want to any help in setting up GitHub Actions, do let me know, but I assume that you should be able to do it easily. Or best part, you can run using the Windows schedule job or the cron jobs. So do let me know how this video is, and whether you have any issues while running this, and you can update it in the comment section, and we'll try to answer it as soon as possible. In our next video, I will try to cover this. If many of you need help in the GitHub Actions, how to schedule that workflow. So I will take it up as a next video, or a video next sometime later, depending on your response. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any benefit, or if you feel that you are getting help from this one, do subscribe to my channel for similar further videos and helping guides tutorials. Thank you again.